They go for the axe
Yeah.
again.
Axe worked once, so they rely on it.
Yeah. Yeah. It did win game 2. It did have a good time. Laning phase was kind of cool, but you know what? I like it because okay, I want to make sure I'm not getting carried away. You know, where it's like they win a game and you say it's great. The axe in principle is good due to that. You know, you lock down Skeeter, game's good. But this response from mudgolems, this legion, if Skeeter gets out of position, all 33 has to do is press the attack on the void, and then you're good to go.
That too.
He's not gonna die.
And the LC, which is a perfect hero counter straight towards the anti-mage. Not necessarily during lane, but during team fight and overall pick-off potential. LC versus anti-mage AM will lose.
Yeah, that is very true. He
very many times in a duel. Like, even just one duel would be enough.
The flip side is, depending on the Oracle's positioning, Oracle always going to save him, right? And you could argue the axe with a good call, same thing. But yeah, 100%, it will be a battle of what offlaner can jump first, because the saving grace for Yellow Submarine is they have that save. And I think I just like the idea from Yellow Submarine. I just feel like, again, this is the one game now where all the eggs in their basket is they have to take good early fights. And we saw time and time again, fight A goes well, fight B, not so much. But this is a game where they need to make sure that every fight goes well, because if they ever lose the tempo of the game, the pacing, it's so hard to protect an anti-mage.
Yeah, we have, like, everyone knows the fight A. Sometimes you see the fight B. What if we ever see a fight C? Now that they've experimented both of these, we're going to see an extension of an extension.
Enchantress.
Do we chain that many fights together?
Can we?
Could we ever have a game where it never stops fighting?
That would be quite the something. I don't actually recall. I remember seeing Roche fights lasting for like 4 minutes, where both teams are constantly poking around the Roche pit area, holding the opposite sides of the high ground, having small fights and skirmishes, people coming back to the fight because they haven't bought back, they've just had so low respawn timers that they just walk back in. And those are basically the first Roshans, like 16 to 21 minutes Roshans fights, kind
Roshans,
of.
Right?
Yeah, the critical ones.
But no, look at this now. The Enchantress pick from Mudgolems. This is a really good pick in that 5 role because it allows them to play into this Axe Sky. When you're cushioned behind a big creep, it's very easy to zone. So I think Yellow Submarine, they're going to have to think about, are they able to block the camps, remove this Enchantress, bring in a creep to that lane, and then this Sky Axe will have the same type of pressure that a Phoenix Axe had in that previous game. And yeah, so overall, I'm a big fan of this Ench pick. And I do prefer Mudgolem's draft still for the simplicity of the game, where if laning phase doesn't go well for them, they still have like clean timings. You know, we saw Skidder in that second game, he had the big chrono rotations. Same thing again, they have the damage into the chrono.
Yeah.
But for Yellow Submarine, if the lanes go bad, they don't have this like innate wave clear. They don't have this innate way of getting the game being prolonged. They don't have like this puck, this Ember, this hero that can play in enemy lines, getting these creep waves. So I am a little bit worried for Yellow Submarine that they have to win laning phase, otherwise they're going to have to make some insanely big plays. Whilst Mudgolems, again, like I said, they can exist within the game and they'll eventually get a timing.
Well,
but the crest, go on, sorry.
Yeah, I was just thinking about Yellow Submarine's last pick, maybe because the Invoker's still there, but
that is true.
Oh.
This is like, when you see anti-mage, Lone Druid value goes from like, to like, ooh. It's very, very good against anti-mage because that timing that you have. And this is the flexibility of this Lena. They decided, all right, boom, you're relegated.
10 seconds.
Wait, hold on a second. Who plays Lone Druid actually? For Mudgolems, does Boromir play Lone Druid? Because of course, 33 was renowned obviously for his Lone Druid, right?
Yeah, okay.
Because I won't lie, I'm not up to scratch on Mudgolem's history, but I feel like I don't think I've seen Boromir play Lone Druid. I am going to check real quick, just to make sure I'm aware.
I was
he played one game 11 months ago. So yeah,
okay, yeah.
This is most likely going to be
Support.
a 33 Lone Druid in my eyes,
Okay.
and maybe Boromir is playing the Lina, and then they're gonna do some like
So this is
funky
like
position 4 Legion situation.
yes, I would say
Hold on,
pause
let's see.
5. I would say pause
Oh,
5.
Boromir is playing. Okay, no, calm down. Boromir is just playing it. All right, okay, we're in the clear. All right, done.
All right, okay.
Done.
Yeah, because I was thinking about the NA. Was it? No, it wasn't Moon Man. It was Aoi 2000 with the pause 5 Legion Commander, and then they had pause 4 Sniper. Can you think about that? You have like pause 4 Sniper, pause 5 LC.
I've seen a lot of 5 players who used to be core players think they can play any hero on 5, which is a great disrespect to the role. Now, realistically, you can literally play any hero 5 nowadays, but no, okay, cool. So Boromir is playing his first professional Lone Druid game in 11 months with 33 on his team. So the amount of pressure this player has to not, make a mistake with one of the best Lone Druid players in the world, this is going to be good. But no, a really good Lone Druid pick. And Kunkka, he is the hero when you look at your draft and you go, we're missing team fight, we're missing frontline, we're missing the team fight sustain, we miss a little bit of wave clear. Kunkka's your boy. But is it enough? Like I said, if they have a bad laning phase, their tower defense is now all about Kunkka. Their wave clear is all about Kunkka. There's so much pressure on this Kunkka that I am worried that they can never get the ball rolling if mudgolems have a good laning phase and roll with it. But we saw Yellow Submarine, even with a questionable start or bad start, they are still able to have these good pickoffs and plays. And Antimage, if he eventually gets there, can have a good game. But realistically, I think this window for mudgolems to win the game is very, very large. But I'm down for surprises, like in game 2. So surprise me again, Yellow Submarines. Find a way to win. What, in my eyes, is it's like a 70-30 mudgolems draft.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was just thinking about when he mentioned that Yellow Submarine had a wonky or difficult start for game number 2. I think they were doing great because Lesh was farming faster than his opponent, obviously. Like Lesh versus the Ember Spirit, you think about it, the other one's going to be farming faster than the other. Thought about the neutral item, luck kicking in as well, the arcane rings and stuff, so you really get like a better chance to like farm up your hero, get that flash farm going on, ramp up from there. Your top lane was going great. The enemy faces void from mudgolems was dumpstered in a sense. Like not that much CS. He was like 5th or 6th in net worth, so you're like the least farmed core on the map. So like when you're thinking about a Spectre game, Spectre the entire game 2nd place or like almost 1st place, pretty much. Like once the laning stage ends and the mid players start to roll out with their teams, the carries start to go up because they're just farming. So the Spectre start to get a better role for that. If that happens here, we know the anti-mage factor. We know what the AM can do if you get the time and space for yourself. We also know the games where the AM might have a lot of fear going into his own jungle, into the specific areas where you want to get your game rolling, the places where you want to be if you get pressured a lot. So it can go either way. Yeah, those things we need to take into account.
The other thing as well, though, for the anti-mage is, there's no point in the game where he's going to confidently be able to, like, make a play, because he's playing into a duel, a chrono. So it is going to be a super hard game for this anti-mage, where we're going to need to see Kunkka tank a couple of these key spells to at least unlock the anti-mage presence in the fight. So like Yellow Submarine are going to have to make sure their fight construct is very much like act initiate or Kunkka tanks, and then anti-mage gets to come in, because if they connect this chrono, if they connect this duel with a blade mail, for example, suddenly this anti-mage will look like paper.
Like, I'm interested about the regen situation here for top lane. Think about Lina. Want to have a tiny bit of mana for yourself? Is there any coming on the courier? There's a mango coming in. All right, so that's good. Got another mango lined up as well. I think that's really important. Like, what is your mana control for this lane? Because you want to keep bullying and you want to make sure those LSAs are going to connect. Too many missed stuns, too many missed spells. Just waste of mana, waste of money.
At least I think the saving grace, though, for this lane, for the Oracle at least, is he is one of the few heroes that has quite a large attack range to match up against Alina. He has 625 compared to Alina, who has 670. So yeah, you are going to be able to at least somewhat trade, but realistically, Lina position 4 just dumps to most plus 5s in the game. It's so damn hard.
Yeah,
to do like the 1v1 duel, that is.
it already says in like the int gain, like 3.7 per level. You're getting almost 4 damage per level, and that 4 damage is really big between levels 1 and level 5. Like the way that your damage is gonna just keep on amplifying from there is really big, because you already start off with like what, almost 60 damage, and you have an insane amount of attack range. It's like, that's huge.
It's pretty darn good.
And game 3 is rolling out the same way as the previous games as well. So very calm start, people farming around the map, bit of trading here and there, but no real aggression happening anywhere. Is there any lane that has any kill potential even?
Not really. I'd say the most kill potential probably comes in bot lane, if anything, because top, you think about it, right? It's a Legion Lina, so the Lina stun isn't setting up for more damage. And same again, Oracle Anti-Mage, you could maybe find a kill if the Lina's like heavily out of position, but realistically, it's not going to be like an easy kill. But bot lane, it's very much just chip, and eventually they don't have resources, you might find that kill.
Aura sending the bear home, quick regen. The bear back to lane. Though, wait, what is the cooldown? Yeah, no mind. Yeah, he's got another bear up in 20 seconds. Soul ring for Elsie. Looks like there's anything out of the ordinary box. We've got the Morbid Mask for Anti-Mage, which seems to be the item pickup to go for it. Sometimes you go for the Mask of Madness on AM, which is not a bad idea. And hold that Morbid for later. Plus, if you want to have a tiny bit of brawling, or if you want to have like big stacks you want to clear, like Ancients for example, that regen is really going to help, lifesteal especially.
Yeah, so the new age build of Anti-Mage is that Brave Band, early Mask of Madness, you have laning presence because you get to exist, and then you get to pivot into the jungle, but also you get to dismantle later on when needed. So overall it's a pretty nice itemization, and it doesn't really offset your Battle Fury that heavily because you are still able to farm pretty quick.
4 minutes. This time no bounty contest in action rune contest in mid. Around to Tokyo, and actually a kill on Miposhka in top. That's a bit of a surprise. That comes from straight up right clicks from Lina.
Goddamn Lina, so obnoxious.
No Dragon Slave, just right clicks and LSA and attack speed from your passive. Alright. Well, we missed that one, I have to say. Because I was looking at mid for the 4 minute, like, what's going to happen with the action runes. No real contest between Lone Druid and the Kunkka. Not like these are two huge playmaker heroes at the early levels that would have, like, major benefit from, like, a regen rune or something. And, alright, well, I'm not going to say anything. That's 2-0.
You're doing great, mate. Don't worry.
Well, all I can blame is myself.
Alright, calm down.
Yeah, that's good. Well, now there's the 5 minute runes. We're gonna get 2. Oh, are we? Fada? Gonna get 1 from bottom. And you get the second so bad it's gonna be. Oh, yeah, this guy's gonna be with a lot of movement speed. Though, enchant. Fada might actually be able to take this fight all the way, but the centaur runs out. Impetus spear, bit of damage. Sky, a bit of trouble. 200 HP. Frozen the combo. Isn't going to be enough. The stick charges coming in. The heals from Fada. The fairy fire. And so bad goes down, and Fada wins the fight. And the bounty rune is still there. He's going to go for it. Pops the south to regen up. Extra worth money from the bounty. Oh, that is a 5 out of 5 performance.
That was he had to do some insane calculation there to be able to work out if he's going to live. Because
and
I was like, is he going to live? He has the fairy fire.
33 HP for 33, and he gets out. Poshka trying to wrap around, trying to hope maybe Elsie's somewhere around here, and he is. He's gonna walk into him, goes for the combo, right click, and a simple, easy kill. It won't save you with the press the attack this time. And Fada picks Collapse's Courier as well. Mudgolems are doing some...
pretty annoying as a hero. But now Axe has got to the point where he's like, well, I can now grab waves. I'm now going to do some skipperoos and try and farm up. But luckily, Enchantress is one of those heroes for mudgolems that can pressure this due to the fact that you have that creep offset. Oh. So, is he going to spin the creep? Oh my god, what's that RNG? Oh, that's so sad.
What's the percentage on that again?
I
have to double check that.
It's not 1%, that's for sure.
That's for sure. Yep, this
Already
time.
a 2k lead up for mudgolems actually.
Yeah,
Didn't really see
Yatoro.
that.
Yatoro also last in the CS department out of all the cores. So the cores from both teams have shifted positions after game number 2 here into this last one. This is the deciding match between these two, and an important one as well
again,
because
I was gonna say this is a GSL
yes,
group stage format.
Yeah, all right. we got the
I thought like
great minds think alike scenario going on here. I know we're just talking on top of each other's here the whole time, but I don't even mind.
You were gonna be like, oh, this is a really deciding game. I thought that was gonna be like the end of your statement, and I was like, all right, this is hype. I'm now gonna come in with the GSL and the fact that like they're gonna have a second chance or something. And then I was like, you were saying, I was like, oh no, all right, you know what? I'm gonna be quiet.
No, you don't have to.
Tell
this
the
is
people
fine.
what
I
they
mean,
want to hear.
I mean, the best part is the more we keep talking on top of each other's, we know exactly what we want to say. We still keep doing it, and people are like, "Oh, what is happening here? Just tell us what's happening." Or no, you tell. Oh,
No,
I'm fine. You can
it's
tell
a
first.
tease
I'm
now.
fine. Yeah. So GSL, the GSL format, I was exactly going to talk to you about that as well. So yeah, this is you're not out of this. If you lose this, you're not out. You have a second chance. If you win that one, you have another chance because you still have to fight the decider. So you win this one, you're in the winners. You win the winners, you're out. So you 2 victories, you're through. 2 losses, you're out. That's all you need to know. Collapse is also dead and is 5-1 on the scoreboard. And Faceless Void is in the lead on net worth, but is he going to stay there for long? Takes a bit of a nuke there from the Oracle, but will live. Bada. He's fought so bad before. He's leading it. He's leading it 1-0. It's enough, but still, Mio walks in the back. But Enchantress versus Sky, it's 2-0 for him.
That was beautiful though, because it's like you want the Enchantress to kill the Sky, but you know the impending death of Bambi because you know the Kunkka's coming in with Tidebringer. Oh, that was fun to watch. But anyway, also as a quick reminder,
yes.
The 3rd place in the group stage, the team that wins the final decider after all the best of 3s, they will be playing up against the 2 invited teams, either Viking or Liquid. And you probably don't want to play up against either of them, realistically, to start with. So it is really important that you are able to convert the wins and get at least top 2 to play up against like the non-invited teams.
Very true. Very true. Yeah, that's a difficult opponent. So from Group A, which is Hellraisers, Live to Win, Mudgolems, and Yellow Submarine, they go up against Viking GG. We know what Viking are made out of. We know exactly what that team is, what they do, how difficult it will be. So bad gets
just like Sky Living. Difficult. It's hard.
It's difficult, and this is I know Sky is a squishy pick, but this is a hard game for So Bad. Like he's been playing pretty well this entire series, but this is not his strongest performance.
Sky is very much a specialty hero, but as they quickly try and engage potential in the lone druid, but realistically they have no damage. But yeah, Sky is a specialty hero because you need to have such a great laning phase and always hit your timings. Otherwise you do feel a little bit like kind of lost in the game because you don't have this innate way to kind of mark your dominance in the game. But I think a real important talking note right now is this Kunkka. A phase double bracer build, in my eyes, naturally gravitates towards potentially a Radiance. And that's what I've seen from some of my games. But I would expect him to be open. Yeah, as I say, he's opening himself up to just decide what he wants. So he does go for that Solar Crest. The concern in my voice was Radiance is way too greedy, and they never ever get to play Dota 2. So I was hoping he wasn't doing that, but I was at least teeing up for the possibility. Oh, they go for a smoke with a very commanding orange line, which is Milan saying they're going bottom due to the ward scouting out the smoke.
And instead of the Radiance, we actually see a medallion pickup for the Kunkka. They are relying on the minus armor.
So this actually does allow for early fights to occur, because if they get this Solar Crest, and then Anti-Mage has this Mask of Madness, a Battle Fury Manta, it suddenly offsets that one item the Anti-Mage has, and you're able to take some of these earlier key fights. So potentially, Yellow Submarines are going to itemize for that kind of 17-minute window of a big fight, but 5k up already for Mudgolems. Will you be able to stop any
And
push?
Look at this. They were looking for a kill in bottom. They just lost 2 towers. They lost top. They lost middle. The duel comes out as well on the Kunkka. Toronto Tokyo needs a bit of help from his friends. Fada, here comes Skitter. What a beautiful chrono. Onto 2, but Miposhka is there. He doesn't have an ulti though. Your Oracle is only level 5. Collapse with the call. Not going to be enough to kill off Fada. Another stun from Milan coming in as well. His ETP's here. And they get the deny on the tower as well. They kill off the heroes. They fend away the attackers. They take 2 towers, the top, the mid. They deny the bottom, and they kill Miposhka as well with the Laguna blade. This train,
gonna go for the play.
This train just keeps on rolling. And Yatoro, where's the root? Good bear, good bear. That's a bad bear.
Bad bear.
That's a bad bear. And Borani, he feels it.
Yeah. A great chain of plays. A great chain of plays from mudgolems.
Suddenly that 2k lead has spiraled into 7,000 gold. XP is also 5,000 gold on the Radiant team's favor, so this is the mudgolems we're used to seeing. Not really giving much of a chance to a team that is coming to contend them in a series.
It boils down to that. How does Yellow Submarine get to the point where they get to play out their draft? They're relying on Kunkka to be a tower defender, but when he's sitting bottom for so long, trying to make an aggressive play, it opens up mudgolems to take that top, to take that mid, and due to lack of early tower damage, suddenly your TP rotations into bot allows you to also take that fight as well. So unfortunately, Yellow Submarine's not perfectly playing around what heroes they have to be able to, you know, get through this early portion of the game, and mudgolem just picking them apart.
Triple net worth lead as well. I mean, all the events that just spiraled in the last few minutes really pushed Yellow Submarine behind. Oracle is also sitting under 1,000 net worth.
Feels bad, man.
It feels bad.
Also, it boots in a stick. Now that was just support life, you know. Patches ago, before wards were valuable, before they were free, before there were 1,000 couriers introduced to the game, you know, and before all that stuff, it was a privilege to have boots as a support. We're spoiled as support players now, honestly.
If only 33 had a friend.
Anti-mage bot lane though, blink duel with blade now.
Duel, 300, 200, 100, and thrown into the air, and he's dead. So close, but so far.
I don't think he was ready for the entirety bar axe to be ready behind the anti-mage there.
Oh, if only he didn't get thrown into the air, that might have given him one more proc of his passive for the kill, but it was close. And I was looking at the map, like, does he have a friend? Well, his friends are in a smoke now. Mudgolems.
They have the chrono available.
Collapse. Oh, very risky waters. Gets a 2-man call, but he gets stunned up with the LSA, and the Laguna Blade will be enough. And so bad, gets stunned up with the Centaur. So that's 2 pickoffs for Mudgolems instantly after that.
And the scary thing in this game is, one pickoff just is an instant objective for mudgolems. You have this Deso Master Commanders on the Lone Druid. It just simplifies their game plan. I think that was the main issue in that second game for mudgolems, is after a fight, they didn't have that, like, what's next factor in their lineup. But now, with this Lone Druid pick, complementing the Void, they have this team fight, they have this objective. So Yellow Submarine have to be so critical on their positioning, make sure their pickoffs are just super clean.
With these TPs as well onto bottom. 15-minute bounty contest. Fada will take the bait. Skitter is ready to go in. Borani is coming in. They've got the chrono available. Enchantress takes the bait. Skitter still doesn't use the chrono. Fada still alive, 300 HP. And look at that, all right on top of the money. And Oracle will go down first, and straight onto the Kunkka they go. They want to get rid of this really beastie, bulky hero out of the way. But there's the ulti coming from 33 as well. He's got the duel, and Kunkka falls down. And so does Yatoro. And not a single chance is really given for Yellow Submarine in this fight. Patience,
rough.
Skitter.
Very, very rough, honestly. It's all about that kind of positional hold, and Yellow Submarines, due to the lack of laning phase, they don't have that presence in the game right now, and they are very much just hoping to, if anything, they're looking to make a pickoff, but the way that mudgolems are playing right now, when they look for the fights, they're together the entire time. They're not allowing for this Axe Sky to play together and get pickoffs. And as soon as they get that fight, and Yellow Submarine is scared, now look at the map. They quickly abuse the entire map soak up that farm during the absence of Yellow Submarine, and then you're going to see them gravitate towards each other again because they know that the pickoffs are critical.
They have this one aggressive ward on the dire map, but they can't benefit from that really.
It's going to expire in 30 seconds as well, so soon their vision is going to be
how many times has Yellow Submarine been in this side of the map? They pushed that one tower in bottom which got denied. That's about it. That's about everything they got with that ward.
This type of vision is really good for allowing to see the farming patterns to play around it with your smokes. So it is a really good ward for the big picture of the game. But unfortunately for mudgolems, for Yellow Submarine, mudgolems have played together the entire time when the timings have hit. So this ward hasn't had value of like watching Skeeter run by himself, for example. And look top. They don't have Chrono, but they play together. They play around Lone Druid. They can just take most fights. Especially when you have this hard save on the Legion, it will save you from any of these at-schools, as long as the Legion isn't the one in the core.
Well, they will get the tier 2 tower in top. They will stick together. Now we're just going to start looking at mudgolems. When is the first Roshan going to go in their way, and then start finishing off the rest of the objectives on the map? Might be very soon.
I think they're going to look to want to maybe force out a key spell, or at least disrupt the positioning of Yellow Submarine, maybe waste a couple of TPs. The answer here is that, you force them back at the tier 3. Once you see them defending here, that's when you can retreat to Roshan. Play on that double ward setup you have in the Dire jungle to allow you to take Roshan. But right now, Dire aren't buckling under this pressure. They're not seeing this tier 3 push as an immediate pressure, and they're trying to sit waiting for this TP. But mudgolems, they're also not buckling under the lack of Yellow Submarine and going, well, if you're not going to come, we're just going to, hit the building some more.
Yeah.
Now this is where it's scary for Yellow Submarine.
And the TPs do come back. Fada reveals himself in the trees. Milan comes in as well. The Yules onto the axe. They get the stun out. The duel will land onto Sobad. And Collapse is also surrounded by enemies. So Yellow Submarine, well, they were TPing away, but still someone stayed.
Yeah. And it's just a battle of kind of attrition there. It's who's going to buckle first, who's going to leave. And Yellow Submarine, they're the ones that went, okay, we got to defend. And one hero TPs, the others don't. They stay, and that numbers advantage, suddenly mudgolems swarm the area. And mudgolems, they're taking their prisoners in this third game.
Look at that attack speed. Look at this bear go.
Oh, it's a chunky bear. Bear do slap.
Bear do slap. And that's a tier 2 gone. There's only one more tier 2 remaining. Also the tier 1 in bottom, which is not the biggest objective, but when you have the Aegis, you go through there and get one of the side lanes for yourselves. And mudgolems, they decide it's time for Roche.
Here it is, 19 minutes, 15k up, going for Roshan.
Just a casual 15k.
This is very much the Yellow Submarines are like, alright guys, we have this anti-mage. He's eventually gonna get Panel Fury. He's eventually gonna be a farmy boy. And he'll eventually die to a Legion jump. But hopefully he doesn't.
Is it time to grab the watch from your wrist again and shake it a little bit and see what's the time again? Or are we knocking on the clock? Like, why is this not working?
I think Anti-Mage is looking maybe to fast forward some time real quick, or at least pause time and allow him to farm in the absence of mudgolem's aggression. I think that's the saving grace, but it's so rough, honestly, if you're Yellow Submarine.
They looked so good in game 2.
They did, but it's like, it was good because of the eventual end goal, right? You saw the moments where they could get there. It was very hard to get there, but you could see them getting there.
It collapses on the run. Fada with the enchant. Axis slowed down. Turns around with the blink before the impetus lands, and the Sky ulti coming out as well, and Fada will go down. That's at least one, but they've also lost Yatoro. Where the heck? Yatoro's died in the top lane at the same time, so they don't even have their anti-mage up. Collapse trying to make his way out from Skitter. 22 HP. He's got the call, but he doesn't get the blink off. It was still on cooldown for like half a second, so it's not going to be enough for him to save it. Skitter has Aegis, has Chrono. The combo coming in from Mio. And Skitter just jumps out of it.
It's his Skeeter's redemption game after game 2.
Oh, definitely.
He realized that it was a rough one, but he was like, no. I'm not gonna let my second forward game of the night, put any concerns into me. The third game, Third time the charm, right?
It's like 9-0 and 6 right now on this Faceless Void, so he's definitely on a redemption game.
Step lively now. Your admiral is on board.
Well, 19,000 gold. That's almost 1,000 gold per minute. Shifting in Mudgolem's favor as this game passes on. Still waiting for the guillotine to fall. Skitter finishing off the last tier 2 tower from Yellow Submarine. And is this the do or die moment now for Yellow Submarine? They look like they are smoked up with a Solar Crest with Kunkka with a Sange on top. That's about it. That's pretty much about it. The blink on the axe, anti-mage with a tiny bit of extra damage with the attack speed, the chance to drop the bomb. Skitter very close to catching somebody there, but the TP does go off from the Kunkka, and the first hit, second hit bash on Miposhka. And this Oracle doesn't have anywhere to run. He throws in the disarm. But they will take the Oracle down. They force the glyph, at least.
They still have this mid-wave alive, so they are just going to go knock on the tier 3s of Yellow Submarine, potentially. And it's such a rough situation, because if you look at Anti-Mage as well, his courier died with his Voidstone in it to complete his Battle Fury. So it's not as if he was going to have, like, he could have been farming really well in this moment. Sorry, Perseverance, sorry. But, yeah, unfortunately, that has also been killed, so it's such a rough game. Top Brax just falls as if it never even existed.
Yeah, I mean, just look at this bear go. Well, might as well just say, look at Collapse go.
Yeah.
That's a solo kill. That's a solo kill for Milan. And GG. That's it.
That's it.
Yellow Submarine, they showed some spite in game number 2. Tied it up against Mudgolems, but in the end, there was only one winner for this one. And Mudgolems will advance to the winner's match from this one.
I gotta give it to Yellow Submarine. They had some pip in their step. You know, they really did give it their all. But that, I think that the holes in their draft were completely picked apart by Mudgolems. In the essence of like Mudgolems have always just first picked this Void. So when they're in that position, Yellow Submarine always having to think of like, what's the Void answer? And in game 2, they had the answer with the delay the game out, will eventually outscale them and be so unkillable we'll win the game. But in this third game, they go for this very like loose looking kind of anti-mage draft with a lot of pressure on Axe Sky having a good laning phase, which fundamentally their lack of wave clear and tower defense meant that they could never hold an area confidently and buy enough time for the anti-mage to come online. And even if the anti-mage did come online, he's playing into a Blink Blade Mail Legion, a Deso Lundred who's already hitting your towers, and this Void that can just, you know, chrono your backline. So unfortunately for this game 3 for Yellow Submarine, their draft was just not up to scratch like it was in game 2. But Mudgolems, they are showing that they are just a very scary team once they hit their stride and get into that rhythm. So yeah, this game 3 for Mudgolems was just really, really good.
Well, we finish our first best of 3 here at the Monster Energy Dota Summit 13 EU and CIS. We still got a second series to go, which should be starting as soon as possible. We are a few minutes behind schedule as the game was already scheduled to start, but we only finished our third map. So we will return after the break with Ninjas in Pajamas versus Brame, and we will continue with T-Panda and TeaGuvnor.